If you're tuning in right now, you happen to be watching the world's truest source for hip hop news, black culture, sports, and of course the best reaction videos on the net. I'm talking about Kofi's Universe. If you haven't already subscribed, it's your chance to hit that button now before I hit this blunt. Bada.
Employees start arguing and you in that seat that Joe was sitting in, how do you deal with that?
It depends because, first of all, the people that I work with is genuinely my friends, like really my friends. I don't think none of them is Joe Budden's friends, in my opinion. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think Joe knows what works for them and them is using what works for them too. I don't mean that in a bad way. Queen's Flip had his own podcast. He wasn't enjoying Joe Budden's. Then you got Lamont Hill. You talking about Lamont Hill arguing with Queen's Flip.
Right.
I thought the name Lamont Hill was on CNN or Congress or some shit. I thought he was one of them. Then I looked up, he on Joe Budden. So I'm like, yo, I thought this was a fucking nigga that beat CNN.
That's smart.
Yeah, I get it. And listen, that's a great hire for Joe Budden's. I get it. From the clips I seen and what the backstory I heard, and I could be wrong, seems like Queen's Flip is being territorial because he was there before Lamont and probably don't like Lamont being there. And what I heard Lamont say is like, be nice to the new people or welcome them or whatever. And it turned into saying, let's step outside. Me, if let's say it's people in this room, I'm not going to let y'all fight each other. Not on my watch. No, I can't. I'm not going to let you do that. But if it was me with Queen Flip and Lamont Hill on my show, go ahead, go outside. Yeah, nigga, I don't give a fuck.
You say I got a ring, matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. I don't really give a fuck because technically, I don't really, and like I said, things may grow into a friendship. You never know.
Right.
Joe Budden may genuinely care about them as friends.
YouTube salute. So Cameron, he was on a podcast, y'all, on Revolt. He talked about Joe Budden and his colleagues on the Joe Budden podcast. Let's talk about it. If you're new to my channel, thumbs up the video. Hit that sub button. Click that bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. I watch Joe Budden podcast, but not all the time. I watch if they're doing like album reviews or they're talking about something in hip hop, rap. But I've never really seen nobody get ready to have like a fist fight or like a physical altercation. So if anybody wants to actually talk about that in the comment section, please, school me to that because I don't really know what's going on between Queen's Flip and Lamont Hill. I know about Lamont Hill. He was on CNN. That's funny though, because I'm looking like Lamont Hill's on the Joe Budden podcast. But I was like, okay, no problem. It is what it is. And Queen's Flip, doing their thing. My thing is this, like Cam said, if that works for Joe Budden, that works for him. And there's nothing wrong with that because some people just want people to come in as far as business. Think about like, I'm going to use like sports. If you're maybe a coach for like a high school basketball team, so like boys basketball, right? All right, you're coaching boys basketball. You might not be best friends or cool with every coach like that's on JV, freshman, frost, sophomore, and varsity and assistant coaches. You might be cool with some, or you might be cool with all, or you might not like all of them. I remember I was coaching last season. I was cool with all the coaches except the varsity head coach. He was a dickhead. He was a dickhead because the way he disrespected the young boys and talked shit about behind their backs and talked behind coaches' backs, and I don't get down like that. That's why I said I can't fuck with this person no more. I'm gonna leave this program and go to another program. I can't do that. But as far as like Cam has what? Mace, right? Who else does Cam have? He has Treasure Wilson. He brought her on. That's like a little sister to him, which is cool. Some people can have relationships as far as like, okay, me and this person are cool. We've established some type of like camaraderie. You know, um, we're cool. Like we could probably hang out. Or some people more like, I just want to treat this as a job. Once I finish, I go home. I know Melissa Ford is not on Joe Budden podcast. She hasn't been on Joe Budden podcast for the last 3 months since August. That's interesting. So I don't know if she's taking a hiatus or whatever. Joe got rid of Rory and Maul, and I liked Rory and Maul when they was on the Joe Budden podcast. But we heard both sides of the story. A lot of people said Joe is a snake. All right, he probably is. I'm not gonna say he's not. And Rory and Maul, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They continue to make moves, and shout out to them. As far as Kim, you know, he might not want to work, with other people he don't know. He might want to be cool. And like I said, everybody has a preference. I don't think this is like it has to be this way only. To me, if I want to do business with some people, I at least want to know who you are. I don't want to be doing business with somebody I don't know who nothing about you, because if some shit go down and you trying to embezzle money, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem, and I'm gonna bring that to your attention first and foremost. But as far as everybody got their own lane. If it works for Joe, then it works for Joe. Now, as far as like having your friends getting ready to fight, and like Kim said, I'll tell them to take that shit outside. Some people might have to go outside and knuckle up and handle their business. Some people you might have to say, "Come on, y'all, let's talk this shit out. It is what it is, and whatever." But as an adult, do you want to be telling another adult about not to fight? Not necessarily. I mean, that's a grown man, grown woman. They should know right from wrong. And man, at the end of the day, this is not like we dealing with children. But let me know what you think about it. How this situation. Post your comments below. Post smash Black Panther the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live.